Alright folks, so here we have the schematic for the fan controller, and on the left hand side here we have the three thermistors RT1 to RT3, and on the right hand side we have the output section wherein the two pins PB0 and PB1 drives two general purpose NPN transistors, and they are connected to the two fans. That's the basic schematic that we would have for the fan control. And the way this would work is, our thermistors are nominal 10K thermistors. So between the thermistor and our 10K resistor here at 25 degrees, this point here will be at 2.5 volts, because the thermistor's value is from the data sheet at 25 degrees is going to be 10K. So our ADC is going to read the 2.5 value, and it being a 10-bit ADC wherein 0 would mean 0 volts and 1023 meaning 5 volt, a 2.5 volt will give us a reading of 512. Now that would translate into 25 degrees C. Now these thermistors are NTC type, or they have a negative temperature coefficient. That means as the temperature rises, the resistance decreases. As this 25 degrees rises, what would happen is the resistance of these would decrease, and so would the drop between these 2 points, or the drop across the thermistor. And effectively what that means is, as our temperature increases, so as temperature increases, our voltage drop here would also decrease. And effectively that means the raw ADC value that we read back will also decrease. And that would be the same for all the three thermistors. Once the ATtiny decides that at what temperature which fan to turn on, we would effectively turn on this transistor and turn on the appropriate fans. Now mind you that I have a current limiting resistor in here. This value of 1K would limit the current that would flow through the transistor. And the way we would calculate that is, from the data sheet we know that the PN222 transistor has a beta of at least 50, and this can go as high as up to 150. So what that means is, if you have a base current of 5 milliamps flowing, your emitter or collector current will be equal to 5 milliamps times 50, and this is 250 milliamps, and this is guaranteed. So it will be at least 250 milliamps, and it can be higher as well. What that means is, each of these fans can draw 250 milliamps in this configuration. Now if you wanted more current to be drawn, then we could reduce these values and put a lower resistor here, lower value resistor here. And the way we get the 5 milliamp value is because the supply rail for the ATtiny is 5 volts, and divide that by 1K resistor that we have will give us 5 milliamps when this port is turned on. Now the other purpose that the transistors serve here is that these fans run off a 12 volt rail. So the output side also behaves as a level shifter. And basically what we have is we are driving a 12 volt system using a 5 volt system. And of course the grounds are common for all of these. So let's look into a bit detail as to how we would determine when to turn on these transistors based on the temperature reading from these. Alright folks, so here we would just look in a bit more detail as to how the thermistor is going to affect our ADC readings. Now what I've done is I've isolated just one thermistor section here, and this is effectively the thermistor between our 5 volt and our ADC pin, and this is our fixed 10K resistor, and this V0 actually goes directly to our ADC on the microcontroller. Now at any given time, the voltage at V0 is given by this equation, where RT is the resistance of the thermistor and R1 is fixed at 10K, and Vin is our supply voltage, which is 5 volts. Now mind you, in a practical scenario, the value of R1 will never be exactly 10K. It will be slightly higher or lower, and what we will do is, when we build the circuit, we will actually measure the value of R1 that we put in and then use that value to calculate our V0 for our microcontroller. So that way we won't introduce any errors due to the drift in R1. Now when you have a circuit like this, if you can look, this is a classic voltage divider, and as the resistance of RT decreases, the voltage drop across RT will also decrease, and thus the ADC will register a lower voltage. And what I've done is I've looked at the data sheet of this thermistor, and I've come up with, the data sheet has given these values, wherein at 25 degrees it is at 10K, at 30 degrees the resistance drops to 8K, at 35 it becomes 6.5K, and at 40 degrees it becomes 5.3K. And effectively the voltage at this point V0 will change according to the temperature, and I've calculated this temperature using, calculated this voltage using this formula here, and I'm assuming R1 to be 10K. What I've also done is I went ahead and used the formula, which is this one here, to get the raw ADC value for a given voltage, and I've calculated that here. In theory, our microcontroller never really has to reverse engineer, come back to this voltages at all. All we need to do is we need to control our fan turning on or off just based off these ADC values that we read off the microcontroller. So we don't need any fancy calculation to get back to our temperature at all. And once we do this in design, that's it. This is never going to change once we program this on our microcontroller. Now, one thing that you would notice here is I have drawn a graph of the transistor turning on and off. In this graph, the green line is when the temperature is increasing. So let's say we start at 25 degrees and the transistor is off. As the temperature rises, we are going to turn on the transistor when it hits 35 degrees, which means the moment ADC reads a value of 401 or lower, that means it is reading a higher temperature, it will turn on the fan, and then it will stay on after that. Now hopefully when you turn on the fan, what would happen is the temperature will start decreasing. Now what would happen is, when the temperature starts going down, we are not turning off the fan when it reaches 35 degrees or when the value reaches 401 or higher. What we do is we actually wait for some time, or to be exact 5 more degrees, for it to drop before we turn off the fans. And that effectively means when the value reaches 554, which is 30 degrees, we turn off the fans. And then that corresponds to 30 degrees here, and that will turn off the fan. And then effectively this process will repeat. Now you might ask, why do we have these two values, one for turning on and one for turning off? And this phenomenon what we have put in is called as hysteresis. And there is a very good reason why we need that. Now, you have to remember that anytime you read any values from any physical quantity or an ADC, which may have noise, you have to think of hysteresis in that system. And the reason is pretty simple. Let's say this is the ideal voltage that I will get at this point at 30 degrees. In an ideal scenario, I'll always get a constant voltage, and that should be perfectly fine. So if the temperature is rising, my voltage graph would look something like this. It's a straight, clean, linear line that is increasing, crosses the 30 degree point at 30 degree line at one point and keeps on increasing. And this is perfect. So you have one point there where you turn on, and later if let's say it starts to drop, we turn off the fans here. So we turn on here, turn off here, perfectly fine. And then let's say this gap might be 2 minutes or so. This is just an assumption. In a perfect world, this works fine. But in reality, what happens is there is inherent noise in all of these systems. So in reality, the line never looks that straight, and it will always be something like this. So what effectively that means is, every time you read, so let's say these are our sampling points. Every time you read a value from the ADC, you're going to have some jitter which is going above and below the 30 degree line. And this will continue till the noise goes sufficiently over or under the 30 degree line, or which is our pivoting line where we turn on or off the fans. Now consider this scenario here where we are around the 30 degree mark and we sample every 500 milliseconds. So this point we read some value, then after 500 milliseconds we read another value. Now in the first value we got something less than 30 degrees, so we don't turn on the fan. The next sample we get something above 30 degrees, we turn on the fan. But immediately due to the noise, we get a next value which is again lower than 30 degrees. So hey, we decide we turn off the fan. And then during this period, which can, let's say, about 10 seconds, all we are doing is we are just continuously turning on and off the fan due to noise on the ADC line or noise on V0. And this is not an ideal scenario. So to avoid this, what we do is we sort of latch the system. So what it means is once we turn on the fan won't turn off again unless until there is a gap of 5 degrees between the two readings. So that is how we built in hysteresis into the loop and take care of the noise that we get from the ADC. That were the key scenarios that I wanted to discuss. And at this point, we are good to go ahead and design this system on the breadboard. But if you want to learn something more, just stick with me. Now, if you look at this chart here, a very surprising thing is, which is a usual normal thing, that as your temperature increases, your ADC values decrease. And you would say, hey Ash, yes, that is obvious because we are using an NTC. But what you can actually do is you can make the system in such a way that when your temperature increases, your ADC value will also increase without changing any of the components. And this is ideal because this is slightly confusing. You don't want some inverse proportion going on here wherein one value decreases and the other increases. I would really like when if my temperature increases, my ADC values increase as well. So to do that, all we need to do is we just need to swap the R1 and RT. And by doing that, what we get is something like this. Now when we do this, what would happen is whenever the temperature changes, this value or the value across which we are reading the temperature, that resistance remains constant, and the drop across RT is going to decrease. Now what would happen if the drop across RT decreases? The drop across R1 will increase, and effectively we will get higher readings on V0 as the temperature decreases. So what I've done here is I've calculated the changed V0 values after inverting these two resistors, and in that scenario the formula is changed by just changing one value here. These are the new values that I get, and now you see as the temperature is increasing 25 to 40, the values of V0 and thereby the ADC raw values are also increasing. This is not necessary, but it's just a nice touch to keep things simple. And effectively that means that these values now would become 628 and 568. So folks, that's the basic design that we would need for this fan controller. Now in the next video, I'll go ahead and breadboard this design and we'll look at a prototype that I built for this. Until next time, have a good day.